Good afternoon, Algebra. Today is Tuesday, April 28th. This is my first day of having my office hours on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 11 to from 1 to 3. This is when I'll be doing my videos. I'll be answering emails, checking Alex. I may do a couple of phone calls and just doing different things that I need to be doing. What I need you to be doing is I need you to be watching videos, taking care of your business, and doing the things that you need to be doing. I am only going to do videos on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from now on. So that'll give you a Monday and a Friday off. And so, but I hope that you'll join me during that time. So on Friday we left off, we were still factoring, and today we're going to and we were factoring by grouping, and that's where we're going to pick up today. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor these completely. And remember, I told you factoring by grouping, one thing that people usually like about it is we did factoring by grouping when we did trinomials, but we had to come up with the two terms in the middle. Well, those two terms are already there for us, so we don't have to do that anymore. So I'm going to group. And typically it's going to be already grouped because you're going to go by how many variables they have in common. So if I look at 12 and 9, I know that they have a 3 in common, so I'm going to pull that 3 out. A cubed and a squared, that has an a squared in common, so I'm going to pull that out. 3 times 4 would give me that 12. A squared times a would give me a cubed. Then please notice this is a negative 9, so I have to do 3 times negative 3 would give me that a squared, that 9. And a squared I already have, so I don't need anything else, so that's my binomial right there. Well, if you look, this is already the same, but I still need to factor that out. Well, 4a and negative 3 don't have a factor in common except for 1. And so that's what I'm going to pull out. I'm going to pull out a plus 1 and have 4a minus 3. Then I can break it into my binomial by binomial. So this would be the quantity 3a squared plus 1 times the quantity 4a minus 3. And that would be my factoring for that one. Okay? All right, I thought that one was kind of neat. We haven't really seen one like that, so I thought that was pretty cool. Let's try this one. We're going to do 4 today. So 2p cubed plus 5p squared plus 6p plus 15. So I'm going to do this. And the numbers don't have anything in common, so there's nothing I can pull there, but I'm going to pull that p squared out. So p squared times 2p would give me 2p cubed. P squared times 5 would give me 5p squared. Plus, I'm going to pull out a 3 right there. Well, 3 times 2p would give me 6p, and 3 times 5 would give me 15. So this would be p squared plus 3, the quantity, times the quantity 2p plus 5. And I didn't check the other one, so I'm going to go back and do that one in a second. P squared times 2p is 2p cubed. P squared times 5 is 5p squared. 3 times 2p is 6p. 3 times 5 is 15. Let me go back over here and do this one. 3a squared times 4a is 12a cubed. 3a squared times negative 3 is negative 9a squared. 1 times 4a is 4a. And 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. Very good. All right, and let me skip down to number 8. Ooh, and if you look at number 8, the first thing you probably did was, good Lord, because those are some big numbers. My hand's falling asleep. Okay. But remember, the first thing that you want to do is you want to see, is there anything we can factor? So when I look at these, I see 56, 84, and 21, and I know that those are all multiples of 7. So I'm going to pull a 7 out of here. And 7 times 31 would give me 31az, plus 7 times 8ac would give me 56ac, minus 12yz would give me negative 84yz, minus 3yc. So that makes it a little bit easier to work with. And did y'all see my mistake? Because I have one. And there's my cat. Say hi, Slinky. This should have been a 32. I don't know why I did a 31. This should have been a 32. Okay. And you'll notice you don't have any squares. So, but I do see an A and an A, a Y and a Y. So I am going to group them by that. Okay. And so I'm going to remember the 7 just comes along for the ride. And I'm going to break down 32 and 8 share an 8 in common. They also have an A in common. And so that leaves me 8 times 4 is 32. I don't need an A. Z. 8 times 1, so I have my 8. I have my A, so this would be 4Z plus C. Then, negative 12YZ minus 3, they have a negative 3 in common, and they also have a Y. And then, negative 3 times 4 would give me negative 12, and I still need that Z. And then, plus C would give me that negative 3YC. So, I ended up with the same thing in my parentheses. So this is going to be 7 times the product of the quantity 8a minus 3y times the quantity 4z plus c. Oops. Okay. And so if we multiplied it, 8a times 4z would be 32z. Times 7 would be 224az. 8a times c would be 8ac. Times 7 would be 56ac. Negative 3 times 4z would be negative 12yz. Times 7 would be negative 84yz. And then negative 3y times c would be negative 3yc times 7, which would be negative 21yc. So that one works. And then the last one I want to do is this one right here. mz minus 5mh squared minus 5nz plus 25nh squared. Okay? And so what I'm going to do is there's nothing I can pull out of there because they don't all have an m, they don't all have a z. And so I'm just going to group like this. Okay? And so when I look, I see that I can pull out right here an m, and then m times z would give me mz. M times negative 5 would give me that negative 5, and then I'd have an h squared. Over here, I can pull out a 5 because I have a 5 and a 25. But I'm going to want to pull it out as a negative because I want that 25. I need a negative 5h squared. So I'm going to pull this out as a negative, and I can pull out a negative 5n. Times z would give me negative 5nz. And then times negative 5h squared would give me 25h squared. And then I'm going to regroup it. M minus 5n times the quantity z minus 5h squared. And that's going to be it factored. M times z would give me mz. M times negative 5h squared would give me negative 5mh squared. Negative 5nz. Negative 5n times z would give me negative 5nz. And then negative 5n times negative 5h squared would give me positive 25nh squared. And so that's our lesson for today. Tomorrow, what we're going to do is we are just going to go back and review all the different factoring that you can do with polynomials, because this was the last of the polynomials. I hope you're having a good day. The weather just got really bad. Remember, I'm only going to do videos on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from now on. Y'all have a great day, and I'll see y'all later. And Slinky says goodbye.